07. You can hear me drinking a cup of tea in the background, which I'm very much enjoying. That's when I finish my cup of tea, mate. By waving, like saluting, you know. I do. I wave 7 myself, mate. Just got a really big hand, that's all. I mean stick guy, not sick guy. But he does have a big hand. No, 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 no. Oh. What are you going to do if it's not, though? You're going to write me a strongly worded comment? 3 powers out, and I wanted it to be. This is what I do. Me relaxing in the background. You didn't miss nothing. Right, stop Petro. Bam! Bring the chat onto here. Hello! This is 07. This, look, it's a salute. It's an 07 is a salute. Look, like this. Like, thank you. 07. I don't know which hand it is. I can't make my hand. I haven't got a big enough hand to do an 07. But that's what 07 is. Now you know. Hello. I realised that some people have now been saying with the title of the stream, like, oh, is 3.0 out? No, it's not out. I just want to talk about 3.0, the road to 3.0, and talk about, like, stuff that was talked about on Happy Hour, the production schedule, Burndown. We'll look at ATV. I'm going to be answering questions constantly from the chat. Other than Dauntless, I play loads of VR stuff at the moment, so Bridge Crew, loads of COP VR stuff, The Division. I'm going to be playing Destiny 2. I play loads of co-op games with 2s in them. Titanfall 2, Left 4 Dead 2, all that sort of stuff. It's not really clickbait, it's accurate to what we're talking about. Hello. I'll take questions about when they should release alphas and game polishing and stuff. There was an article, actually, which I haven't finished reading, from Eurogamer, who talked to Chris Roberts at Gamescom, and it's a previously unseen, from my point of view, article. I'll just link it there. And basically, the guy is talking more to Chris Roberts about when is 3.0 going to be released, when are you doing beta, when are you saying enough's enough and releasing the game, talking about the funding model and stuff like that. So it's slightly different to the normal interviews that they get, and I'll do a breakdown of that at some point. But I saw that and I thought people would think it was interesting. Oh no, that was a picture of Disco's face. That was this is my gaming cut of a video I made of the Gamescom footage. So there shouldn't be people's faces in there. I'm an idiot. Oh. Sometimes you're going to have to see Disco Lando's beautiful beardy face. Or at least, face. So yes, feel free to ask questions throughout. If I don't ask your question, don't spam it. Don't answer your question, don't spam it, but you can ask it again every so often. I will go and visit, at some point, all of the studios. Even the ones in America, at some point. Because, obviously, covering Star Citizen is pretty much 99% of my channel and stream now, and I've become relatively good, or at least a figure of the Star Citizen community where I should be going and looking at stuff and giving my opinion on it. I know people think that I'm a little bit fanboy a lot of the time, but it's because I'm a Star Citizen fan and I am very enthusiastic about it. I do try to be critical when I can. I'm a bit bipolar. When I say bipolar, yeah, I am bipolar. And so I finding a balance of stuff is hard for my brain to do. And Star Citizen is always one of the things that makes me happy. I have a significant amount of lag. What to my voice to sync? Or are you talking about me answering people on stream? There's no real best game package. In my opinion, if you're going to get the game, get the cheapest package available, and then just participate in Star Citizen as it is at the moment. You'll be able to get everything in game, all the ships in game. So people that spent $15,000, yeah, they're going to have a big fleet, but you're going to be able to get all those ships if you play enough. And if you're enjoying the game, then you should be playing anyway. So those people aren't going to be as unassailable as some people may think. And also, their ship's going to be just as easily stolen and destroyed as someone else's. Clap to check my video lag. Oh. Didn't realise there was lag. What's the lag? I'm always a few minutes behind on chat, so just be aware of that. But yeah, I'll be playing Destiny 2 on PC. Do you think the Reclaimer will be in 3.0? No. No. So the only ships that are going to be new to 3.0 are the ones that they've discussed. So the Aurora rework, the Cutlass rework, got us back, and then we're going to have the Dragonfly, we're going to have the Prospector, we are going to have... what other ships are there? The Urza Rover, the Constellation Aquila, and I think that's all of them. The Reclaimer requires some extra work. There's 3 rooms that are still in the art stage that need to go to... and lots of stuff that needs to do the game art stage. Lots of stuff needs to get finished with that, and then they need to do the damage models and break it all apart and make it into a derelict before it's going to be flyable. So there's still some work to it. Me and Nubify will probably do some form of merch. We don't... Yeah, we'll happily sell out with our own merch. That's fine, isn't it? It's alright to go endorse your own things. I'm wearing a really awful t-shirt with my face on it that you can buy. I specifically wanted my t-shirts to look really awful, some of them. And then I wore this, and my mother saw me earlier. I was showing to her, she's like, oh my god. That's like, thanks for my face. I do think there might be, in the future, I do think there's going to be base building. There is going to probably be some form of territory control-ish thing where people that do stuff in certain systems might be able to influence stuff. So there'll be territory control in some aspect, even if it's just literally game mechanicking, like your org taking over an error and knocking it down or whatever. So I do think there's going to be some form of concrete type system. I'm not sure how they're going to flesh that out. There might be enforced mechanics as well, but there might not. I really love Bridge Crew, and I love some of those VR co-op games. Yes, I do have a link for the pipeline overview. Let's actually bring that up on my screen. What I see. This is schedule report. We'll talk about this because there was the Gamescom found a lot of bugs. A lot of bugs at Gamescom. Pew, just it went up here. And then they fixed some and they found some more. And now we have 76 bugs left to find. Oh, left to fix before this can go to Evocati. These are the must-fix bugs, which is annoying because it's taking time. It's, hoping they get 20 to 25 a week done now. So, like, possibly have something in 3 weeks. I couldn't choose the sound for being hosted. Thanks so much for the host, Sabotage. Much appreciated. But someone was asking for the roadmap. So this gets updated weekly as well. And it's a graph of their schedules for stuff. Now, it's a rough schedule. All the stuff that they give us schedule-wise is their best estimates and internal schedules for stuff. So they're not always perfectly accurate, obviously. And Disco said something about that these were the times where something could start. But I think that basically what he was saying is that potentially they might not start when they suspect them to start. And they could technically start anywhere between then and then, but that's the amount of time they believe that the project will take, this area of the project will take. So we are in September now, and you can see that they've completed or what are working on between September and December. I'm very much looking forward to the large ships like the Carrack. And probably the Sentinel actually as well. I'm interested to see when they start to do E-War properly, and it suggests to me that the Sentinel getting finished, which is probably being polished and stuff now, maybe. That would, we might see some more E-War stuff, or at least some E-War weapons, maybe. Not in 3.0, obviously. Oh my god. What? Oh. Broccoli? What? Evocati. You want me to say Evocati? I hate when people say Evocati. Or Evocati. That's all. But this is the link to the charts. I recently bought a Reliant core. Is there any way I can get the Tanner? So at CitizenCon and then the anniversary sale afterwards, there will probably be access to a load of limited ships. So around then, if you want to get the Tanner, or if you want to upgrade to a different ship, or you want to look at other different ships, then's the time to do it. A lot of those ships will be the last time to get them at the cheaper prices. I do recommend, if people are on the fence about buying a ship, don't buy a ship. If you're on the fence, that means that you're not 100% like, I want to buy a ship, which is fine, because you can get everything in-game, so don't. Get in package, certainly. Get Aurora, or get the Mustang Alpha. I recommend the Mustang Alpha, because I think you'll be able to do stuff a little bit quicker in that, to grind up to your next ship. As soon as we have it in our hands, I'll do billions of guides, all the guides. The Mustang rework is getting done at some point. So at the moment it's targeted, being worked on now possibly, and should be done by December. That's when they expect it to be done. But remember, that's not necessarily 100% accurate. And actually, I'm very much looking forward to the Mustang update. I don't think it's going to be a huge rework or anything, but they're updating the materials, then they'll make the ships look sexier. There you go. Wow. That Minecraft guy's angry. Let's give him a ban. Bear with me. No, the whole sea won't go live either. They've content locked pretty much what they want in 3.0. So we're not going to see any extra ships, because that would increase the length of time before 3.0 went out. You've got to remember that the Delta patches should be coming with 3.0 as well, and that means that we're not going to have to wait, assuming that the CIG do it right, We're not going to have to wait for content that long for ships and minor content and balance and updates and bug fixes. They can do them really bam, 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 bam. It's only the big mechanics like salvage, mining, that sort of stuff that will take a bit longer. Hopefully we'll be able to get ships much more often. They talked about mining being voxel asteroids. The idea of, I talked to Erin about it when I went on my office tour, and he seems very excited about it. Obviously, I'm assuming he's seen it, and because it's supposed to be coming out in 3.1, it's supposed to be the next major mechanic after 3.0 is mining. He's talking about we're going to have, at the very least, have it on planets to start with, and then they'll add to it from there. But hopefully we'll see it as gas mining, asteroid mining, and planets all at the same time. I think it will be quite cool looking, whatever it is. Oh my god, thank you very much. You're fucking legend. Pardon my French. Fucking isn't French. But, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Can you talk about netcode and performance? Yes. Anything particularly you wanted me to talk about netcode and performance? 3.0 should potentially... very carefully choosing my words. Should potentially have better network performance, and we'll talk about it in a second. Let's bring it up here. I talk about this pretty much every time. AI, graphics, backend network. So with 3.0, we're going to get some various optimizations to the game engine. But you kind of need to see it almost as a whole new thing, because they've literally smashed down the persistent universe and rebuilt it. We're going to have the new message queue, we're going to have physics serialization, and we're going to have the persistent data refactor in regards to network code. We're not getting bind culling and bind unbind stuff, which is quite important. That's coming with 3.1, I believe. And we're not getting the optimization that object container streaming brings. Now, we should hopefully see some improvement. There have been improvements to the network code, certainly for 3.0, but we don't know how if there's going to be more players. They were having issues with 15 players, and it's one of the reasons that 3.0 took a bit longer is taking a bit longer to come out, because they want as many players in as possible. They want at least what we originally had was like 24, and they want to ramp it up if they can. So we'll have to wait and see until after the PTU. So beyond Evocati, there'll be the wider PTU. I'm assuming they will go, this is the amount of players we can get in for a live build towards the end of that PTU. But 3.1 and 3.2 will see object container streaming come online and actually be utilised, which will give us lots of performance gains. That's the idea of it anyway. And technically the potential to have a lot more detail in every area. And we'll see bind unbind culling, so we'll see just data that needs to be sent to us being sent to us, and data that's irrelevant to us being culled and prevented from getting to us. So do with throughput and stuff for your network. So it should be a lot better, potentially. There's a lot of the stuff I can talk about, and like I say, the intention is, but a lot of the stuff we don't actually know until it's in our hands. And there's always the potential that stuff can be buggy, like totally buggy as fuck. Like we'll get it and we'll be like, well, only 12 players can play in this, and like it could be because of a bug or because they've done something wrong or whatever. So there's always that potential. So just bear that in mind. So as positive as I would like to be about it, I need it in my hands first. I am looking forward to the CitizenCon presentation, because at CitizenCon we're expecting, we don't know anything that's happening at CitizenCon other than Faceware, the guys that are doing the face over IP stuff, said it's going to be great. So they're going to be there, and if you want to know more about their technology, then make sure you tune into CitizenCon. But there was that Crash Corps video which kind of got pulled because some of the info might have been... they didn't want to commit to any of the info on it, basically, where they talked about that they might show Squadron 42 stuff at CitizenCon. The idea is that nothing is locked in stone. I think it's going to depend slightly on if 3.0 has gone live, or even if there's a PTU build or whatever. That will influence what they show at CitizenCon. I'm hoping to see Squadron 42 stuff. I'm hoping to see the vertical slice, whatever that's evolved into. I'm hoping to see more planets and biomes. I hope to see animals, procedural cities, stuff like that. CitizenCon is on the 27th of October, so end of October on Friday. So Evocati and PTU, Public Test Universe. So Evocati are the early testers for Star Citizen Alpha builds, they are effectively a wider group of QA testers which hammer out bugs. It is a chore, and they want people that are relatively good at writing bug reports to be part of that group. The PTU is then the public test universe, which is expanded to, like, I think up to 10,000 people. And then that's the slightly more intensive stress testing, as well as bug fixing, and then it goes to a live build after that. And it's important that they do that because they haven't tested it on all the hardware that's possible. They haven't tested it in all the possible configurations of the game crashing and exploding. Of the known updates to 3.0, what are you most excited about aside from the planetary tech? That's a good question. It's the mission system, I suppose, then, because tangible gameplay. Well, there's two things, actually. It's the tangible gameplay that missions will give, because I can just go, I'm going to sit down and do a mission. I'm going to sit down and do a mission with my friends or whatever. Disco's face! No, bad disco! Sit down, chill out, placing those with my mates, and it will be a little bit different every time. That's what you get in Bridge Crew as well. There's the slightly dynamic modular missions. But I'm also now excited for cargo and boarding, because they basically said breaching was going to be in 3.0, so we're about to blow people's doors off, but you'll be able to lock those doors as well, so I'm not sure if we're going to get intrusion warnings, I'm not sure if they're just about to blow up doors, I'm not sure if you'll be hacking doors, I'm not actually sure how the breaching mechanic's going to work in 3.0, because it'll be a very simple early version of it. But the fact that they've got that, and they've got the ability to steal cargo, and blow up ships, and loot ships and stuff, that's awesome. I like PvP-ish gameplay. I don't like forced PvP gameplay constantly. I don't want to like leave Port Olisar and instantly be set upon by a billion pirates. But I do like it occasionally happening. I do like the areas to go that I can do it, and I like the idea of, oh, this is a really good trade route, but there could be some player pirates around here if I risk it. That's what I want. Always wait as long as you can to upgrade the PC. And then some of the new Intel processors coming out soon, which at the very least will lower the prices for Threadrippers and other stuff as well. So it's hard to say when it's best to upgrade your PC. I always go for, if I was going to buy a PC, I'd always go for the lower end of the high spec stuff. You can get some great deals on some processors now as well, like 6700K is really good for games still, so are 4970Ks for the Intel side. Threadrippers are pretty good, although they're more going away from gaming if you're using various types of app. But I don't give a fuck about AMD or Intel. Like I'm neutral to my fanboy of either of them. As well as AMD and Nvidia, I don't really care. It's whatever's best to my needs at the time. But wait as long as you can. I'll do some videos as soon as 3.0 comes out about different performance. I think people are hoping that 3.0 will be at CitizenCon will be released. Yes, I'm going to bet on 3.0 being able to be played before 2018. Face over IP is not in though. Face over IP, although they showed it, it's not in until I'm not sure when it's in. We'll find out more at CitizenCon. Voice over IP, face over IP, some of the Spectra update stuff. If you want to participate in the Star Citizen project, if you want to give feedback, if you want your feedback to influence the direction of the game goes, and you like the idea of the project, and you like the idea of following the news, then back the game now. If you want a game to play, don't buy Star Citizen now. Wait. Simple as that. If you want to get involved with the project, awesome. There is some stuff to play, but it is very sort of like, you're like a very early game tester for Star Citizen. There's a lot of fun to be had. The community's great. But if you're after a game, and you want a space game, go for something like Elite Dangerous or Eve or something in the meantime. Yeah, it might be better to put some stuff in questions brackets. We can try it all. This is all still very rough for me. So. So you can make bases. at some point, that's the intention anyway. They want a base building mechanic. And it's going to be persistent, so you could hide somewhere if you wanted to. There's motorbikes outside my house. I apologise if anyone's now got ripped ears. So you will be able to play solo. The intention of Star Citizen is that they encourage you to play in a group, or they encourage you to work with other people. You can hire NPCs to pilot ships and help you crew. So bear that in mind. We'll have to wait and see exactly what's going to go on, how good NPCs are. The intention will be, though, that players are always the best choice rather than an NPC. Yeah, so I think that sort of like by the end of 3.2, we'll have the whole of the Stanton system. I think that's the plan. So they'll add planets, and then when we've got their full Stanton system, I literally think they'll be adding systems relatively quickly after that. Relatively quickly, you'll probably get in the short term one every quarter, maybe. The short term. It was just one motorbike. Do you know if there's other shops in Levski besides weapon and clothing? I believe there is. There's the whole market there. There's going to be ones for ship components and stuff like that as well. I don't think we're going to be able to buy ships in 3.0. In fact, they've confirmed that you won't be able to buy ships in 3.0 unless they're putting it in as a sneaky thing. I will push CIG to get the ability for us to buy ships with Alpha UEC into the game as soon as possible, because I think it's important. I think we all think it's important. I would encourage people not to buy ships if they're on the fence about them. If you've got loads of fucking spare income and you want to buy a ship and you want to pledge towards the game, great. Do it. You're having to go, oh, I don't know if I want to upgrade my PC or buy a ship. Upgrade your PC. Are you concerned at all about the piece they showed where you could see player distances? Oh, no. They'll evolve that, so it's not bullshit for stealth. Of course they will. I am assuming, actually, that they'll probably be able to put your Wi-Fi mode on your mobiGlass so that you would say, look, I'm detectable for social things, so people can see, oh, it's a lawful dude. Or you can turn it off to be stealthy, that sort of thing. I've got the new Chris Roberts interview on hand, but I haven't read it all. I read it quickly. It was just Chris just saying, the game will be done when it's done, isn't it? It's a game of his dreams. I will do an overview of it at some point, probably for tomorrow. They didn't. I don't think they mentioned procedural mission generation in the interview. Squadron 42, we don't know. They were really tight-lipped about it. Even when I went to my office tour, and wound up in DA, and it was very sneaky, and I was trying to look for stuff. They were very tight-lipped with Squadron 42, and I had to go out of my way to ask questions and poke around to find out more about it. But it's coming together. I'm not in any position to even if I could, I wouldn't be able to work out when it would be out, because stuff I saw looked done, but I don't know what they're very small parts. Tilwraith won last month's Nox. You can find that on our Reddit, so the BoredGamer Reddit, and on the Redacted forums. Also, in every video that I do, there is a competition rules, and there is posted all of the winners. I think that they're going to be looking towards VR stuff as part of the Faceware and Face over IP and Voice over IP stuff in the future. So it is on their schedule now. Oh my god, I love my 1080 Ti. 970 is a solid card still. 1060s are my favourite budget card though. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I don't know, 7? No, so this is actually something that I really want, David. David's asked, any idea when we can expect an updated schedule of what ships and mechanics we should expect for future patches? No, and they need to start doing that. Like, people get annoyed when they miss these dates and these production schedules and things like that. Right. So, for example, at the end of the schedule report here, I'll link this in case people want to follow it with me. Got the 3.0 and beyond overview. And then you've got the goals for 3.1 and 3.2. Now, these are a bit rough now. Like, some stuff might have moved off them significantly. And I want a schedule of where they see all the different mechanics falling in as they think of them at the moment. So, from medical to salvage to mining to repair, pretty much everything I kind of want listed now, because they must have at least roughly where they want it. Internal schedules are fine, rough plans are fine, but I want to see where do they plan to be by 2019 almost. And I think that's something I'd assume they've scheduled out, even if it's really roughly, even if it totally changes. I like to know their current thinking for everything, because it's important to know. But CitizenCon, we might see an update to that. How is the data patcher at the moment? Now, they were using the copy build 3, which is their unskinned, effectively, data patcher at Gamescom. That seemed to work really well. I'm assuming that it's just in its last phases of tweaking, polish, and getting skinned by Turbulent. They're getting it ready for 3.0, and it should be released with 3.0. I think the Banner Merchantman should be ready in 2018 at some point. Blah, blah, blah. That's a really rough answer. Sure as what the Banner Merchantman was on the schedule. Banner Merchantman. So it could potentially begin work next month. And then it looks like it may be done mid-2018. It's a big ship, that Banny. No, Ryan, if you don't like the idea of it or anything, then you're good. You can wait. Wait until something changes your mind from actual gameplay. Otherwise, we're just discussing stuff and you think it sucks, then who am I to change your mind? And use for the Hurricane. No, I don't think it's one for them to take that long on either, actually, the Hurricane. So expect it not too distant future. End of 2017. Towards the end of 2017 is where it's expected to be done. So I would expect to see it in a mini patch, like a 3.0.1, 3.0.2 kind of patch, maybe. If that's the way they're going to be utilising the Delta patcher. I can only assume, so. Does that mean that potentially we might get the... No. No. So they are content locked with the ships. Assume they're content locked with the ships. So no extra ships other than what they've already discussed for 3.0. The Freelancer Max and Connie Taurus might come in mini patches afterwards with the Delta patch quite quickly, but they're not going to be in 3.0. Unless they go, surprise! But they basically said nope. Otherwise it's going to keep on taking 3.0 longer and longer and longer. I think they confirmed that on Happy Hour. Which we'll have a quick look at ATV. So quick look, I think it's like a 40-minute episode, but we might skip some bits of it. Oh, so do you think CIG will ever readdress hardware controller stuff to deal with gimbal weapons versus joystick control? So I'm not sure if they're ever going to do their own bespoke controller again. They probably will eventually, and they'll probably look at partners better because obviously there was issues with Mad Catz getting bought out and everything went up in the air. I hope that they remain controller agnostic as possible. I like the fact that people use different controller types and everyone argues about it. I think it's good for the game. I don't like something having a massive advantage, but there's going to be some cool stuff coming along so that I mean, Noobify loves his dual stick setup, like he swears by it. Whereas I at the moment love keyboard and mouse, and I'm getting a new mouse with a stick on it, and I actually really like mouse and throttle. So as long as they don't make any of these particular setups super powered, then I'm kind of happy with it. We'll have to see how the game evolves, and if controllers types become so brutally one-sided, then we'll have to do something about it then. almost certainly, I will almost certainly see more heavy fighters and more gunships and things like that. We don't really have a gunship in the game other than the Vanguard series. The Redeemers, they are going to get reworked. They are going to be redone. The gentleman that was that made them originally has moved on from CIG, so I'm not sure when they're going to be done. But I think it's unlikely there's only going to be like 1.5 gunships in the Star Citizen universe. Uh, 3.0 will be out literally when it's out. The burn down stuff we'll have a look in a minute, and we'll talk about it in a minute. They are burning down the last of the bugs. Say the last of the bugs. The tricksy little fuckers. The burn down goes up and down, unfortunately. But hopefully down regularly now. I'm hoping 20 to 25 bugs fixed a week. And I'm hoping, at a push, they could have something in 3 weeks for Evocati. So they literally need to get these 76 bugs done before they release to the Evocati, which is the early 3.0 build for non-CIG testers. I think it's probably quite hard to fly a Bounty Merchantman solo, although potentially if it's just cargo, you might be able to, but defending it from pirates and stuff, and actually making the most money you could from it, it's probably going to be harder solo. I don't know if they had the FOV slider at Gamescom, but I think the FOV slider is in 3.0. So the economy is going to be very simulated, but CIG, we're representative, the players are representative of 1/10 of the like NPCs and stuff that will be in the universe, of the population of the universe. So we won't actually have that huge an effect on the economy, and CIG can game it if they want, and they can edit it. So it will be simulated, but they're going to make sure that edge cases and exploits aren't overly used. I'm interested to see how the economy develops and exactly what they do with it, but that was the intention the last time I heard. So as many as possible CPU core-wise, even in 3.0, they have pushed some like physics and stuff over to other cores. Eventually, I think they were talking about 16. It would scale up to 16. But I think that will potentially be more with Vulkan and all that sort of jazz coming in the future. We're going to see much more multi-core stuff. So the schedule is an indication of stuff, and you can see their thought processes and stuff. And the term seriously, we know that these internal target dates are quite often very optimistic or likely bullshit, because they're going to find bugs and stuff. But I'd rather have them than not. No Terrapin in 3.0. Terrapin's not supposed to be in 3.0, is it? No. My Scrapyard Star Citizen build. Okay, that Scrapyard PC I built, I was using it as one of my streaming rigs, and the power supply exploded. And
I'm going to buy so many spaceships.
Oh my fucking god.
I've been watching your videos for a while, thought it was time to show some support. Keep up the great work.
That's a lot of support. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate $100. Jesus, man. Thank you. I do. Okay, so with Patreon and donations and stuff, I really do appreciate them. I think they're amazing. I'm thrifty as hell, and I suffer a little bit from anxiety. Amazing if you can afford it. Don't ever think you need to give me anything other than feedback and watching my stuff. That stuff's amazing. I don't want to be a dick about taking donations and things. Thank you so much, though. That is super, super lovely. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm not really good with that sort of thing. Thank you. Appreciated. I'll put it to some form of good use. Someone else has just donated $20 as well. I've just seen. Thank you. Oh my god, Kestrel. Do they have a rough idea of the rate of future updates after 3.0, since it will include the Delta Patcher? So Matt Sherman was talking to me about this on my last stream, and he basically said it's not going to affect the normal development cycle of a patch, having the Delta Patcher. But hopefully we should see lots of smaller patches implemented. He didn't say that, I did. So it's just my expectation of how they use the Delta Patcher would be, and they can do updates for ships, do updates for whatever. New weapons coming in, bam, bam, bam. They can just put them in. They could do a patch every couple of weeks if they want to do really easily. And that's, I think we'll have to kind of hold them to that. I think we'll have to like push for that if they don't do that, and they'd be a little bit stupid not to. We'll still have those, so we'll get like 3.1 will be mining, 3.2 will be salvage or repair or something. So we'll still have those big patches and that are major gaming mechanics, but the ones in between should be smaller things, and they give you them much more often. So thank you very much, Noob. Love your fucking face. So Carrick is one of my favourite ships. What is my favourite ship at the moment? Reclaimer. Carrick's pretty high up on there though, because it's top tier exploration and it's like very efficient for what it needs to do. No real new info on the Carrick. Let's have a quick look on the Charteroo. They're looking to start building it towards the end of this year, and a lot of those big ships like the Carrick, the Banning Merchantman, the 890 Jump and stuff will start to come in from like second quarter onwards of 2018. We'll start to see some of those big ships possibly coming into our not just hangars, flyable. Someone gave me 100 and someone gave me 20, and then someone gave me 20 before that, but I didn't get their name because the thing crashed. So I'm very, very sorry. I didn't appreciate your $20. I think it's from someone that gives me money all the time. Appreciate it. I do appreciate it. It's just weird, like the idea of people donating to people that are streaming and Twitter. Like you know what I mean. It's awkward. I'm an awkward person. I will do some videos on hardware and benchmarking as soon as 3.0 comes out. As soon as it goes to wider PTU, in fact, I will benchmark a load of stuff and a load of hardware and see what works. And see where we get diminishing returns. Because it might be like with 2.6.3 that you can only get like 30 or 45 frames per second. And in which case, there's no point in buying this massive rig. Super expensive rig or whatever. During Ben's day, he said the game changer wasn't seen on the Foundry 42
I am going to buy so many
So
spaceships.
that is probably
You
correct.
rock, man. I take my hat off to your dedication to the community. Thanks, man.
Thank you very much, Rooster Inwa. Very much appreciated. I love Star Citizen. I love the idea of Star Citizen. I love the project, and I fucking love the economy. I fucking love the community. So yeah, I really enjoy doing stuff like this. I really enjoy talking about it. So the game changer. I saw a lot of random new and we talked about new concept ships at my Foundry 42 tour. I asked some very specific questions and found out what I believe to be the game changer, which is almost 100% what the game changer is. Like, it's not confirmed, but Ben, on Ben's day, said that it was a large civilian job. It's going to be a concept ship that they sell in the future. I'm assuming it's going to be at CitizenCon. And it is mechanically game adding or changing. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I don't think there's going to be 2 game changers. I'm not really sure what it was talking about by the other game changer. There's some cool things coming out in the future. They're just cool. I wouldn't say they're mechanically game adding or changing. Technically, the Tumbrel vehicle with the missiles on, the Cyclone, the actual ground combat one, that's technically game-changing, because it's the first time we saw ground-to-air. Thank you very much for Cameron's cringy face. Oh, I fucking love you, Cameron. Thank you very much, T. Much appreciated. I do think we will see zombies in people's mods. People will mod zombies for Star Citizen. Also, we'll almost certainly see some sort of viral outbreak, which is zombie-like, won't we? Or zombies in space, or Tyranids, or something. So Matt Sherman has said, smaller patches like that are data and bug fixing typically, not appreciable content. I, however, will try and push for getting ships and that kind of content in the smaller patches. That's something I would like. And I assume everyone else was like, thank you very much, Andrew Haynes. Much appreciated. Legend. I didn't even know I could take pounds. The English pound. My actual currency that I use in my country. Thing is, if it takes a year between 3.0 and 3.1, as it did with 2.6 to 3.0, we're talking about a much longer development cycle overall. Now, they are still working on patches simultaneously, so they're working on 3.1, 3.2 and beyond, and Squadron 42 and all that sort of stuff, even while 3.0 is not out. So just bear that in mind. If you do get a chance to ever go on an office tour, take it and talk to message CS. Will we be able to buy ships through in-game curr? With in-game currency. We should be able to buy ships in in-game currency, just not in 3.0. Again, I think it's like a 3.1 thing. I think Erin said that the other day. That it's not going to be in 3.0, but it should be in 3.1. That's something that we really desperately need, the ability to buy ships with Alpha UBC. We're going to be able to buy components in 3.0, though. We're going to be able to buy weapons. We're going to be able to buy lots of other stuff. Oh, I can see these things now. Bored. I watch all your vids. Do you know if there will be a good idea to farm missions in 3.0 with the aim of purchasing Alpha UBC? No. So assume that every major patch, so 3.1, 3.2, will wipe all Alpha UBC and all Alpha UBC purchases. Assume that. The point of Alpha UBC is that they want to keep on testing and they want to be able to wipe databases and improve them and stuff. So assume that it's going to be destroyed every major patch. Possibly more often than that. So don't farm missions specifically for that intention. Farming missions is cool if you want to get that Alpha UBC up. I'm interested to see the amount of tangible economy gameplay that we're going to have in 3.0 before we've bought everything. Do I have... Is it 20 hours? Is it 100 hours? Is it 1,000 hours? That's really interesting to me, because 2.6.3, I'd say tangible gameplay content that I probably got out of it, including the multiplayer stuff in the persistent universe. Probably about 30 hours, 40 hours of tangible gameplay before I went, kind of done everything now. Obviously Star Marine, randomly messing about, and Ring Commander give you a lot more. But it's tangible gameplay for me. If they're releasing these alphas like semi-polished products, I will hold them accountable for the amount of gameplay hours. Ships is not something you can half-arse and just rush in with the Delta patch just because building out a ship is, for it to be game ready, is a tremendous amount of work, and none of it can be cut out or rushed to shove something out faster. Okay, that's what. Yeah, so Matt did say last time that it wouldn't affect, the Delta patch won't affect the normal like cycle of patches. So ships might be something that take a bit longer. I mean, I look at them different. I think that the issue is, from my point of view, is that there's been quite a long drought from 2.6 to 3.0, and I think that if you say, oh, ships won't come out until 3.1, people will worry that that is going to be a year. I think that's a reasonable worry. I don't think that will happen. I do think we're going to get patches more often, hopefully. I think we'll get 3.0. I think now that 3.0 is about to be released, that's the foundation and backbone of the game. The pipelines for all the ships, the pipeline for the game is significantly more kind of polished and effective and quick. So the potential there is to have stuff being done a lot quicker, at least significantly quicker than we've had previously. But yeah, I'll keep that in mind, Matt. I won't try and push for something that is totally unreasonable. I do need to research that, and I do need to ask some questions about that. But it's good to know that the ships aren't as probably quick as I think they are to get out. Like the tumble buggy, I look at that and think, how long does that take? Because I don't know. Next office tour, I will ask some slightly different questions about getting stuff ready and when is it viable to release something. Like the more minor ships and vehicles and things. But will NPCs or AI modules be able to use turrets in 3.0? I do not believe so, no. They are going to have AI modules in the future. They are going to have NPCs that are hireable in the future, but not for 3.0. Subsumption is probably their thing they're working on that will probably take the most time overall, I'm thinking. They are making progress with it, definitely, but I think it's probably one of the big blockers for Squadron 42 at the moment. The game changer, based on what you know, I cannot comment and speculate on the game changer's price and stuff. mainly because I really don't know. If it's a big civilian ship, though, I will speculate between $350 and $500, probably. I don't know. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's your current rig? I've got a 6700K i7 and a 1080 Ti and 32 gigs of RAM, so it's relatively powerful. I do want to get a new CPU so that I can do 1440p encoding on a single PC without having to rely on two setups. It's so much easier. It will make my videos look a full ton better because I could probably do 4K even with a better CPU. Just encode it all. Oh, yeah. So something like a Threadripper or one of the new Intel processors based on what's best for me when they come out. We'll have a look. So the intention is eventually to have modding and private servers and stuff like that for Star Citizen. I'm assuming that probably won't be until after the actual full game release, so don't hold your breath for anything in the slow term. For sexual content and stuff, space sex slaves, nay. If you want to roleplay stuff like that, you can probably find a role-playing group to do that. I'll show off what's in my fleet later. Basically, I've got one of every industry ship and an 890 jump. I need to get... The only ship I don't have that I do want is the Reliant... I hate the Reliant so much. The Reliant Mako, because I want the news van now. Bug fixes, data tuning, changes, data revisions, all much more doable on a quick turnaround. So expect those for the minor patches, possibly a lot quicker. What I'm hoping. And we have stuff like the missile warning symbols that were always there for like several months. Maybe they'll go. They would have been fixed quicker and that sort of thing. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. There's a lot of love here. I feel like I need to say thank you to all of it, but a sweeping generalised thank you. We don't know how fast it's going to run FPS-wise. One of the things they had written in the production schedule for 3.0 is that they are improving overall frame rates, and they decided to spend time on increasing performance on the client and server side, and they were having stability issues a while ago, where servers would drop in performance greatly once they reached 12 to 15 players. And I believe the intention is to have at least 24 in the servers, I believe. But hopefully more. We'll have to wait until after the PTU to work out exactly how many players we're going to have in. So, yeah, Matt, I understand that the ships take time. There's lots of different departments that all need to go through, and then they need to even get built into derelicts now, and there's tech animation, and they get all the passes done. I suppose what I'm trying to say is with the ships and stuff is there anything holding them back once they're completed? They don't need to be held for a major patch, do they? They can, once they are completed, once they have done all their passes, they could just be released. Is that correct? Or was that a possibility? Like, obviously, I know I can't hold you to anything because you don't know the intention as it changes. Don't know what's going to happen, but that's what my thinking was, that stuff will be as it's done, and it can take a long time or whatever, but it could potentially be released. And you might see like a PTU more often, what I was expecting, but again, I don't know. Yes, I'm looking forward to the Delta patch as well. That will make the game accessible to a lot more people as well. Thank you very much, Sovereign. Okay, there's tons of work that goes into ships and vehicles. Cool. I will research a bit more, because I understand the pipeline. I just don't have an idea of length of time now. I know it took them a while to start with the first few ships, and I know they've got the pipeline done a lot, but I don't know how long it would take to make a ground vehicle. or like a snub fighter that doesn't require any extra mechanics, but yeah. I will see the game before I'm 50. Yes. So there is some form of subsumption in 3.0. We're going to see Ruto, and we're going to see Mars Eckhart as mission givers. We're going to see other NPCs milling about. We're going to see shopkeepers and stuff. I don't think we're going to see any form of combat ground NPCs. I think that's one of the things that they're working on at the moment. We saw a locked 3.0 build at Gamescom, which I'll put on the background again for a little while. This is the build they were playing. Actually, let's get the buggier one. So this was day 3's build, and that's actually quite a bad quality one, unfortunately. But let's get day's 1 because there was actually a couple of crashes on day 1, and then they used their internal data patcher, the copy build 3, and updated it on day 2 and on day 3, I believe. Let's grab day 1's footage. The netcode is going to be improved in 3.0, or at least there are optimizations and additions to it. But 3.1, 3.2 is where we're going to start to see object container streaming being used, whereas we're going to see bind unbind, bind culling stuff. There's lots of work that still needs to be done for it. Slaved is where you basically make the turret fire directly forward with the pilot. The pilot is control of all the guns and slaves the turret. So the turret, rather than being controlled by another position or a manned gunner, it will be slaved to that. So it will fly just forward or whatever. They're never going to share with us financials. We've got the... it's not a reasonable thing to ask for. I mean, if anything happened major with the project that was sort of like they went bankrupt or something crazy happened, I would demand financial accountability. And I suspect we would get it. But they're doing healthy financially. I mean, they made a lot of money last month, almost 3 million. They've made almost 160 mil. I expect that Star Citizen, the way I envision it, and I am pulling numbers out of my ass and stuff, 200 million to make probably for the game they want, and maybe seeing a beta 2019-ish sort of time. That's what I'm expecting. And thank you very much for being here, Matt Sherman. Much appreciated. And thank you very much for answering questions. It is very appreciated. I understand this is effectively either your spare time or your lunch break or something. So it's thank you. There can be text restrictions. Take the Cutlass free work. Art and VFX wise, the ship's done. But without item system 2.0 in place, it does nothing. Okay. I don't entirely know what CPU I'm going to get. It's either going to be a Threadripper or one of the new Intel Coffee Lake series when they come out. So one of those two. But I haven't. I need to see the benchmarks and I need to see what's best for me. I don't like inefficiency. I don't know what the freelancer update looks like. Thank you very much, KWO311. I think you've donated some money earlier, which I didn't see your question, so apologies. Game changer ship ideas. Is it linked to a specific profession? I can't really comment on the game changer because I think I know what it is in my office tour, and I'm under NDA for that. But he said it. Ben said it was a big civilian job, and yeah, and it's a ship. That's my expectation of beta in 2019. I mean, we could be massively surprised, but I think that's a reasonable. I think that's a reasonable assumption. 1070s are great graphics cards, man. Like really great graphics card. It's my 1060 great budget card. You can play most stuff at 1080p. Pretty fine at the moment. It's like very similar to... It's slightly better than the 980. It's a very good card. 1070s, great, even up to 1440p realistically. Although you're going to have some slowing, you might not be able to get everything at 1440p. 1080s and 1080 Ti's are overkill, but they're not quite 4K cards. The Redeemer will be worked on at some point. That's all we know about it. I don't know. I think they might have said something about 2018 about the Redeemer, but expect it to be worked on eventually, but not as a priority. There's other ships that they need to get done and that are a priority for them. Oh, billions of videos after 3.0 comes out. Like, all of the videos. I'll do guides to everything. I'll do some hardware stuff, so I'll look at different hardware and benchmark it and see what builds we can get for Star Citizen, the cheapest, the most expensive, the diminishing returns type stuff. I'll do one for every mechanic. I'll do some gameplay ones. I mean, anything that you can think of that is Star Citizen related when 3.0 comes out, me and Noobify will discuss, and we'll do lots of different videos on it. We have slightly different styles now, me and Noobify as well, and we work together quite a lot, and we share scripts and we share notes. So it's quite a good working relationship there. And also we've also got Redacted, we've got loads of other content creators that are now working together quite often. So hopefully we should get some amazing content with 3.0 out. And can you imagine how happy the streamers are going to be? Like, Twerk and Soros will be so happy. All of them. Everyone will be so happy because they've got tangible gameplay to play. The 7700K is a mazeballs processor. It's probably the... I'm sorry I used the term amazeballs. It's probably the best gaming processor for the money at the moment, in my opinion. I think on a happy hour, I can't find the source for this. I had it in my notes. I think on a happy hour they said the intention was they wanted parasite docking or undocking with the Merlin in 3.0. Now I'm not sure if that's still the case. I can't even read that out. I think the Aquila's going to be a great ship. For people that have the Aquilas. What, Aquila? Aquila? Roman Birdie Bird. They are. I think they're going to be awesome for 3.0. As is the Cutlass Black with like a Nox or something. Just because you've got that Ursa in the Aquila, and it's going to be great for exploration and messing around. Like, I want all those different ground vehicles. I want to mess around with them in 3.0, like, so badly. The Flashfire isn't going to be a thing in 3.0. It's still something that we'll be addressing. But since it's priority number 1 for manned turrets... Oh, sorry. They're improving the manned turret experience for 3.0 beyond. Because we want it... Multi-crew is really important for Star Citizen. It's one of the major core tenets of the game, and why a lot of people got excited about it originally. Now, other games are starting to do multi-crew, like Bridge Crew and stuff like that as well. And Pulsar, Lost Colony, and even Elite Dangerous and stuff. So, they need the gameplay for those ships to be so good. And the turrets were trash before. Well, they're not entirely trash, but pretty crappy. So we can expect to see better gameplay in 3.0, and they need to get it really right after that. Because I want to be in a turret, and I want to be like, I am doing a good job while I'm in this turret. I'm killing stuff. I don't want to be going all over the place and not be able to hit anything, and asking the pilot to slow down. So the 77 HQ is a laptop one, isn't it? The 1050 might not be the best graphics card. It's a good budget card. If you can get a laptop with a 1060 in it, you'll be happy. If you can pay the extra. I don't know. I suspect that the Redeemer will be getting a full rework, though. That's my expectation. I love the new Cutlass Black, though. Doesn't it look good? Doesn't it look good? A Stormfire bought me one of these as well. Like, he's a really good mate, and he's really been super supportive of my channel. And he went, "Oh, what's your email?" And I went, "Okay." He went, "I've sent you a Cutlass Black." And I go, "Cool." So thank you very much, Stormfire. It's very much appreciated. But as I said before, you don't need to give me anything. Your friendship and your feedback are awesome. The same as everyone. Thank you. Yeah, it's the issue. 20 FPS is annoying. yeah, try offline mode to see what your like max frame rate is potentially in the persistent universe. I do think they will release a solo dedicated salvage ship. I think we'll get smaller versions of pretty much all of the mechanics.
Love your channel, Bored. Great content.
Thank you very much, Gov. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll put that $10 to use. I was going to say I'll buy some ships with it, but I won't. I will be buying a CPU with it. I've got to. I'm still waiting for my aircon unit, and it's getting closer to winter now, and my room still gets very hot. There's an air conditioning unit that should be arriving soon that the stream bought for me, so thank you very much for that as well. Genesis Starline, I don't know when it's coming out. It's probably one of the rarer ships because I don't think many people bought it, but it's going to have that people transport and VIP transport gameplay there for people that want to be air stewards on the 747 and run their own mini businesses. I will be getting one for my mate Zen at some point though, like a present because he's helped me out so much. It's okay, Chris. I'll forgive you making me say amazeballs twice. Sniper Wipers. Every month we do give away ships, and I'll try and give away some randomly in on the streams and stuff sometimes. It's the best I can do. I'm gonna probably do a referral and recruit randomizer on my channel for everyone that's subbed at some point. So you potentially could get some up to 10 recruits from that, which would get you a Gladius, stuff like that. I will try and do that because I will no longer need recruits pretty soon. As you hit 2,000, you get the Javelin, and that's the top thing you can get. I don't know if we're going to get more than 24 people per server in 3.0. I'm expecting 24, and then them to try and push that further. I don't know. I think that's the hardest thing for 3.0 is probably the netcode and the janky animations that come with the netcode being not optimal. There's no need to upgrade your Cutlass Black at the moment. Wait until 3.0 comes out, then make a decision. Try them both. Always try and prevent people from spending money where possible. I know we do ship buyers guides, and I'm very enthusiastic about Star Citizen, but when you have like, should I get this? Wait. They're both out in 3.0. Give it some time. Play with the Cutlass Black first. Was my favourite ship to fight in the Sabre, but it's not as good at the moment because Super Hornet pilots can just wreck me. They just definitely have an advantage, whereas I do love the Sabre, and I like the idea of the Sabre. Yes, you did see that. I can't say your name. Perry Hellion. So that was in the schedule reports that when they get to... it's one of the reasons that 3.0 was taking longer. When they get to 12 to 15 players, that there was a drop in performance that they wanted to overcome. Will the FOV slider allow us to use wide format monitors effectively in 3.0? I don't know, but there are ways to use wide format monitors effectively anyway now by editing your user.cfg. Thank you very much, Ice Played. I appreciate that. There are many people better than me. I don't know about personal drones. There are plans for lots of different gadgets for first-person shooter stuff. So you might see some form of droney type thing. And there are certainly mining drones and scouty drones that are planned, I believe, for like the reclaimers and stuff. I'm starting to slightly disappear, so 1 second, let me edit my camera. I'm not so disappearing. Chroma key. Oh no. No. On 10? Let me go. Oh. Bear with me a second, guys. I'll have to do... Oh, do. That's fine, isn't it? I'm not so pixelated, Eru. No, you're not going to see the X1 in 3.0. You're not going to see any extra ships in 3.0 that aren't the ones that they've discussed. Unless they're being really sneaky. So you're going to see the Aurora rework, you're going to see the Cutlass Black rework, you're going to see the Constellation Aquila, you're going to see the Prospector, you're going to see the Ursa Rover. Have I missed any? Dragonfly. I think that's all of them. Let me just go check on the list.
Tricksy little
Otherwise, someone will
hobbitses.
slap me. Thank you very much, Perry Allen. You're a star. Legend, thank you. I answer people and then they sub. Yeah, I think that's it. You don't expect other ships for 3.0. The X1. Let's have a look at the X1 quick. So this was a little teaser at DragonCon that Disco and Dave Haddock showed the audience, saying, haha, this is the X1. Well, this is just the second pass of the X1. It could have evolved significantly from this. We saw a similar sort of thing when they showed the Endeavour, possibly at DragonCon, again. Or they showed it somewhere. They did like a little teaser of it. I'm expecting this to actually be the next concept cell now, the X1. But don't 100% hold your breath. And then the game-changing chip, possibly to be at CitizenCon concept cell as well. But this might be the end of this month, sort of thing. And it's going to be another space bike. And they said they wanted one from Origin. This is probably going to be good for racing. It's going to be a slightly more luxurious experience, but it's going to be geared towards racing more than anything else, I suspect. I think it's cool. I already discussed the game changer, large civilian job or ship. It's going to be a ship. It's going to be cool. It's going to be game adding or changing. Star Zone. The star map should still work. You might need to update Google or update, not Flash, whatever the hell it uses. Uh, 3.0 effectively has only been delayed once from December of 2016, and every other time it's been rescheduled. Being technically right is the best kind of right. But with the schedule reports and stuff, this is literally what happens. They give us the schedule reports, those dates will change heavily, but they'll give them to us their internal targets. Just bear that in mind and be mature about that and try and understand that. I know. I'm gonna get a lot better at flying. When a 3.0 comes out, I'm gonna fly with as many pilots that want to fly with me and mess around a lot and try and get relatively good at Star Citizen. I'd like to be like top 100, and I'd like to be regularly top 500 like in the future in general, just so that I'm up to date with meta, I understand it, and I'm actually, people will go, well, Board's relatively skilled. So at the moment I'm good, and I'm good because I've played so many hours. I'm not actually good compared to a good pilot. Someone that dogfights regularly will just wreck me. You can use voice attack and HCS voice packs now, but there is going to be voice over IP in the game. There is going to be face over IP in the game. So bear that in mind. That's the face over IP stuff that Faceware were talking about. I want to go cargo hauling. I'm stuck in between the Freelancer, the Constellation Andromeda, or Cutlass. Freelancer's a great ship. Constellation Taurus is a great ship. I'd recommend the Taurus over the Andromeda for hauling. And the Cutlass Black is a great ship. I can't recommend any of them other than possibly go for... Actually, I can recommend one. Go for the Cutlass Black first, because it's the cheapest one there, and you can always upgrade. If you have to make a decision, go for the cheapest that's going to be in 3.0. And then see if you like it. Why not? Thank you very much, Dash. Appreciate it. Oh no, wait. Oh. Yeah. The Nox. The Nox is in 3.0 as well. I forgot the Nox. Thank you. Apologies to the Nox, which is in front of me. I am currently against SLI and dual graphics cards until they're better supported. I need alternate frame... No. Alternate frame rendering... Alternate frame rendering is crappy. Even if you're using one for physics... Maybe if you're using one for physics, it might be right. I don't know. I just think that's quite expensive setup. And wait for SLI and dual graphics cards to be a bit better supported before I consider one myself. I don't know, Atlas. That's really odd. You're getting a black screen. If you go into Chrome settings and toggle on or off, use hardware videos, or hardware, whatever it is, hardware rendering for videos, and then restart Chrome, see if that works. I don't really know any flight model changes in 3.0. I want the moons and the atmospheric flight to feel a bit better. In the Gamescom demos that they were showing, I felt that there wasn't enough gravity. I know they're supposed to be lower gravity, the moons anyway, but they're still supposed to be more gravity than in space.
Choose a sound for being hosted, so I
Thanks
decided
very much,
to use
SMB.
this.
I appreciate your sexy face. Legend. Thanks, mate. Woo. But I don't know what flight model changes we're going to get in 3.0, other than... I didn't study the footage well enough, I suppose. I probably could have discerned what changes were going to be in there. Yeah, probably a 3.0 release in October. Don't know, though. Don't know. Speculation. We don't have auto turrets in 3.0, no. We might see automated defences before that to enforce... before base building, to enforce landing zones and things, because what they want to do is they want to not have armistice zones, so you potentially could pull out your pistol in Port Olisar and shoot someone, but security would come and kill you. But they also want to like protect Grimhacks and stuff from people just camping the spawn pads in a ship. So we'll probably see automated defences, possibly invincible ones even, in the short term, before base building comes out. Thanks very much for the raid, by the way, SMB, much appreciated. Do love to speculate, but we also know shit. Eventually, the idea is to have server meshing, which will basically have servers breaking up areas with object containers and other methods as well, I assume, into smaller and smaller areas that are handled by another server. So they could spin up more servers if more players came into an area. That's the idea of server meshing. It will keep on breaking areas down into smaller and smaller locations, so that everyone can technically be on the same server in the official Star Citizen PU. So people that bought cap ships, you're going to have to use for the big cap ships anyway, because the Idris can now land on some planets, it seems. You're going to have to use like snubs and stuff to come and pick you up, aren't you? Yeah, there are ships that multiple people can fly around in game at the moment. The Aquila, Super Hornet, the Cutlass Black. There's a good few. Is this a YouTube versus Twitch turf war? No, because I want both sets of people to live in harmony. But I like having the chat on screen here so you can see them both. I think that's useful. But I knocked a while back and I upgraded to Constellation Andromeda because lifetime insurance. Thanks, Jane. Thanks, SMB. See you later, SMB, mate. Thank you very much. Fucking legend. Derek, your message didn't get full outsec. Do you pay for? I don't know what you mean. So every month I win. I do a giveaway on my channel. My YouTube subscribers, as long as they comment on a video, basically every comment from a subscriber gets put into an Excel document, and a random number is drawn, and then they will win ship. So, for example, if you go into any of my videos, I'll show you what I'm looking at. Go to any of my videos, you click on Show More or into the comments, you will see contest rules. You'll see that this month is for a Nox Q. And you'll see all of the rules for the contest, all the community guidelines for YouTube and all that sort of jazz, and explaining that you'll be contacted, and that you can also email me here. And then at the bottom, you'll see all of the previous winners. So last month's winner was Tilwraith. This comment: thank you, BoredGamer, for showing that VoIP over IP, place over IP. There's blah 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 blah, all that sort of stuff. All that was Johnny B. That sort of stuff. So go there. Here you go. Yeah, so the user.cfg stuff, this is the latest one, I believe. Well, that's the links to all of them. That's to all of the different guides. That's the Windows 10 guide, that's the performance guide, and the user.cfg guides. They're all listed there. If you need them for anything, I will totally rewrite them for 3.0 when it comes out. We will have a watch of the ATV in a minute, actually. And after we've watched that ATV and answered a few more questions, we will... I'll probably have to go because I'm cooking my parents who have come round a stir fry tonight. And I want to get on that before 6 PM. It's 5 PM now. We've got a while left. Oh. Hello, I'm BoredGamer. We're just talking about Star Citizen in general. We're trying to answer questions, and we're just talking about the news. We're going to watch ATV in a minute, at least the burndown section of it, so we can talk about when 3.0 is coming out and some of that stuff. I'm not sure if we won't see the truck stop in 3.0, I don't think, but we'll see admin offices and we'll see expanded stations. It's war. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'll look into using another graphics card as a physics card then. I remember when they actually released physics cards separately. Okay. Actually, bear with me. I was cleaning out my room today, and I found my maths coprocessor for my old 386, which I remember. I was always into computers when I was 9 years old when I bought a maths coprocessor. I understood how to mess around with I was learning DOS and stuff. Good times. Pretty much pre-internet, I was into computers. Pretty much. Just got mobile phones. Got my own mobile phone as well. My second mobile phone I ever had. Yeah. Is it destroyed now? It probably still works. These were bricks. These didn't die. These had battery life for years. Probably still got battery from when I was at school. We need to organise a Star Citizen meetup in the south again, in Southampton. John Lepage used to organise them. He didn't even play Star Citizen, but he was really into the project. But he's really busy now. He's teaching at unis, I think. I need to contact him again. But we need to start doing one in Southampton or somewhere in Hampshire. That's my little salute to Emma, thank you. Only other people thought I was cool. I can't say much more about the game change yet. As soon as they announce it and stuff, I'll talk more about it. I'll say, yes, that's what I thought the game changer was, or no, that's not what I thought the game changer was, but I will talk about it. You haven't been waiting a year for 3.0 yet. It's December 2016. That's when it was supposed to come out. I suppose you could have been waiting for a year, going, I know it's coming out soon. Yeah. UWG, I think that's a totally reasonable thing. If you don't buy any more ships, if you've got 2 already and you spent lots on them, he's more than you need. Oh my god. And the sound of internet, mate. I shouldn't have done that sound. Oh. Yeah, Toby, eye tracking is a thing. I'm not sure if it's going to be in Star Citizen properly. I talked to Toby, actually, about reviewing one of their products, and they said they didn't have Star Citizen support at that time. We might see something in the future. I think some of the VR headsets are going to be using eye tracking. I think Faceware kind of mentioned that they might be looking at eye tracking at some point as well. So... I think we'll see the better multi-card support well for VR and Star Citizen. Yeah, so in the persistent universe, one of the limiting factors in 2.6.3 is the netcode, the servers, that sort of stuff. So that reduces frame rates significantly. We don't know when 3.0 is going to be coming out. So Bossman said specifically, no promises. That often misquoted December 2016 comment. That's a lot of money to spend on the game, Clubbin. No worries, Triple A. No promises. Thank you very much, Cannibal. Oh my god, my Nokia 3310. It was indestructible, man. Still is. We don't know what we're going to get in 3.0 frame rate rise. We don't know how stable, we don't know how locked the frame rates are going to be or anything. Bear that in mind. I think that they need to be very careful with stealth killing mechanics and takedown mechanics for other players. You don't want to just be walking around and be just taken down. You don't want to be fighting someone with a gun and then just be able to get like flank you to the side and insta take you down. So they just need to do it properly. Stealth takedowns I do think are important, but I would say that you should only be able to stealth take down someone if they haven't got a weapon out. So they don't have a weapon out, and so that they are just chilling out, and you have to have a weapon out. It has to be very obvious. So you can't just do it randomly in a public area because you press the button. I've got the BoredGamer interview. I haven't read it all. It was just I liked the fact that it was not like a typical interview. It was looking at 3.0, when's they're going to be a beta, when you're releasing the game, other crowdfunded games look up to you, that sort of stuff. I thought it was a different way of looking at it. And then talked about crowdfunding and stuff. This is the BoredGamer interview if people want to read it. I'll do an overview of it possibly tomorrow. I'm working at, I'm doing some volunteer work at Oxfam tomorrow. Yeah, Clement, they still work. They're in there. The text file stuff is the user.cfg stuff. Which there. Not all the commands work anymore. The Polaris is still going to be a big ship to run, man. It's still like effectively a capital ship. At least a very large ship. We're about to trade cargo in 3.0. It's not going to be like the most expansive system. There's going to be lots of different commodities to trade. All the crates are going to look pretty much the same, though, I believe. And there's no load-unload times, I don't think. Literally, when you sell cargo, it teleports out, and when you buy it, it teleports in. Obviously, that will change in the future. So it's a very basic implementation of cargo and trade. There's not much trade. It's more cargo hauling, I suppose. There's potentially some major improvements to the netcode and frame rates, but we don't know until it's in our hands. I'm going to contact Twerk again in a minute as well. Hopefully, he's fully out of the storm now. We've been... Obviously, Twerk was near about that hurricane, and he had 24 hours of dealing with... Well, I talked to him yesterday, so he had 24 hours left of being in the like dangerous area. But he's not in his house at the moment. He's somewhere else, which is a lot safer. But he's worried about his house being damaged, so hopefully he's all right. Send him good thoughts. Oh, I'd expect the Cutlass Black to go up to like maybe 140, something like that. After 3.0 comes out. Oh, pardon me. Thank you very much. Appreciate the love. Yeah, they should be non-lethal takedowns typically when you're doing like stealth takedowns. I think that's probably a reasonable thing. I need to test out 3.0 to work out how annoyed or worried I am if the network code's crappy. I think it's probably one of the major blockers, though. I'm okay with light survival mechanics in Star Citizen. I, however, do not want to have to constantly eat and drink, or have to eat and drink really at all, to keep me alive or to keep me at optimum. I like the idea of having mess halls and stuff, and you needing to have supplies of food for NPC crew. So for capital ships and stuff, that makes sense. That's why you'd have living areas, that you could have NPC crew. I don't want to survival on planets. I like the idea of like a light mission that if you crashed on a planet, you need to find a source of water, find a source of food, and then finish off making a distress beacon. To, like, boost your mobilis signal. I don't want anything heavy for survival mechanics. I'm planning to go to CitizenCon. I am a carer for my brother. My brother was in a minor car crash the other day as well. That's affected his care. So I'll have to wait and see. I am planning to go though. Want to go to CitizenCon. I wanted to go to Gamescom. Oh, so I love this game. So I love the community. I love the idea of the project. I actually wish lots more AAA games were made like this. But we'll have to wait and see exactly how Star Citizen finishes its first release, first proper release. I think that we get too many crappy games like Call of Duty that's not iterated upon anymore. I loved Call of Duty 1 and 2. I just didn't like any of the others. But I love the idea of an economy-based game. I love space games. I love the fact that there's lots of different skills going on here, from points of view. People that are going to be doing stuff in the economy, people that are going to be Marines, people that are going to be dogfighters. I love that co-op and coming together. I also like that done semi-competitively. Chrome is out of date. Reinstall Chrome later. There's millions of reasons why I love Star Citizen. But the community's up there. And the community's probably why I create content on it still. And will for probably its lifetime. And obviously I'm going to be sensible about where my channel evolves to. But if it's going to, it might stay 90%, 99% Star Citizen all the time. I do like doing VR stuff, and I do like playing other stuff on my streams though. I mean, I think you should be able to eat and drink in game. I just don't think it should affect you much. I know my bro is pretty much fine. Like, he was very lucky. He was just a bit battered and bruised. No, I'm not really sure what they're doing with the 600. I think the only modules were going to be the Explorer module and the Touring module, in the at least the short to medium term. You'll probably better buy them in game. They're probably, because they're item system 2.0ing everything, you'll probably see at some point they go, we've got all these modules again on sale because they're now available in game. So you might start to see that happen next year. I don't mind them having, if your character has been up for like 24 hours or something, that reduces your stamina and you need to log off. I think potentially that's realistic-ish. So like, and it prevents people from being mad and like playing games solidly. So, it's probably best I log off. You'll still get people that log on with another character or something, but I wouldn't mind that too much. Or I have to see. Like, I'm always interested in exploring game mechanics, as long as they don't affect the time the game is going to take out to get out. I'm always okay with like tweaks and stuff on mechanics, but with the understanding that they might be entirely the wrong route. Might be great, they might be shit. I do think other games will look to do similar stuff to CIG in the future, and if Star Citizen is super successful, which I hope it is, and I expect it to be, I think a good few games will be made similarly. He's good, thank you very much. I appreciate all the love for my brother as well. Thank you. That's one of the reasons I do YouTube, is one of the reasons I started it's because I was his carer, and it's a job that fits in very well of what I do. Like, I do suffer from anxiety. I do suffer from quite severe bipolar depression, and I need stuff that anchors me down, but stuff that I can do at my own pace. YouTube, streaming, absolutely great for that. Content creation, absolutely great for that. Community management, absolutely great for that. Caring for my brother, awesome. Feels like I'm actually doing something that's useful. But thank you. I appreciate that. It's you guys that have allowed me to do this 100%. Yeah, so we've got the quad screen stuff synced up now properly, a lot better, so we can have all of our different views, whatever game we're playing. So even in VR, we can have Bridge Crew done split screen full way, streamed. I appreciate that some people were very much enjoying those VR sessions. I very much like Bridge Crew. I think it's great. I'm most excited about just exploring on planets and on the moons. It's going for a run and look around, because you do that for hours. Are NPCs going to use the same beds we need to safely look out with? I believe so, actually. I believe they would. Don't 100% know if you've got an NPC still running around your ship. They all have to be able to potentially sleep before your ship is logged out safely. If you're defending yourself against someone that's already illegal, or that's attacked you, you shouldn't get a wanted level. If they goad you into taking the first shot, potentially, you would be a criminal. So we'll have to wait and see. There will be edge cases, obviously, and CIG obviously don't want that to happen, where they don't want players to be able to be dicks to each other or exploit stuff like that. So you could have voting systems and stuff in game anyway with your orgs. So you can set your org up however you want, Derek. And in fact, my org, Nomad Black, that I'm running with a load of my mates, some of the people that got me into Star Citizen, and I will get some other viewers and stuff, and people that desperately want to be in it. We're running it lightly roleplay, and we're going to have it that we vote Roman Forum style on all changes to the org. Mine will be sitting at 3.1. No, I actually think that the grey market trading, it being okay to do and it being in one place-ish, is better for regulation for Star Citizen. And when they start selling UEC properly, the actual game, I think we will see even more regulation to the grey market because they'll actually be top and bottom prices for stuff. I think it might be a great solution to the gold miner problem. So we'll have to wait and see, because you're going to be able to buy UEC, whatever, from somewhere. Someone will sell it. Some website, some Chinese gold farmer will sell it. But CIG have gone for the route of that they'll monetize it in the same way that Eve monetize X or whatever. But I suppose the difference is that Star Citizen isn't subscribe. It's buy to play. And that's one of the things that excites me about the Star Citizen project, is it's all pioneering for me again. Like, this is pioneering gaming. Thank you very much, Yurit Erp. I very much appreciate it. I appreciate your patronage. Yeah, if you like it, then push for it. As long as it's done in the right way, it might be okay. Like, it's very much Star Citizen. You're allowed to have a totally different opinion from me, and I hope that some people do. And I hope that we get a reasonable accord of what game mechanics get sort of like them balanced or tweaked or whatever, so that everyone is partly happy, or at least we have a better game for it. Will there be very story-driven missions? Yes, will. There'll be theme park like ride missions that are really high quality as well, like really well done, with like lots of interaction with NPCs and stuff, as well as ones that are more sort of like the Covalex Mission Hub one. You still own your Retaliator? I don't think I do. I like both YouTube and Twitch. I think I prefer YouTube overall as a platform, just because it's what I know better. And I do think streaming's very hard. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate all the love. Oh, when the beta drops, oh my god. I don't know. I don't know. Explore the economy aspects of the game, probably grind mining or something. I'm quite... I'll be very UEC focused. Thank you very much, Curveball. Appreciate it. It's just something you do, isn't it? They've got a modular mission system. The idea is that every time you play a similar-ish mission, it will be different every time. They'll have to be in different places. There'll be different middle bits. There'll be different outcomes. You might get attacked on the route, that sort of stuff. So quests and missions will be quite diverse, and they'll get more and more diverse as they build more onto them. In 3.0, that's when it will start. You should get the hangers that you come with your ships. You'll be able to choose where they are as well eventually. You go, I'll put mine in this system. I do not expect romance options in the game. I'll have to wait and see. It's because everyone as effectively will have the same backstory if you can have romance options. And I think that Squadron 42... Star Citizen might have... I don't know. I don't expect romance options. They will have to roleplay and shit, won't they? Yeah, so NPCs are going to be having their own schedules, their own 24-hour life cycles. Some of them will become nemesises, so if a particular pirate isn't killed or kills a load of people, he'll level up as a pirate, the NPC pirate, and he might get like a pirate base, and there might be news broadcasts and stuff about him in the system. That's all going to be handled by the God AI and the dynamic mission system and all that sort of jazz. So I'm interested to see how that all gets fleshed out and actually what it looks like when it's in our hands as well. You right, Mike? Right, I am going to put on If the 3.0 donates, it drops before CitizenCon, I will donate $100 to BoredGamer. Good man. Good. He is hoping that 3.0 drops before CitizenCon. I will not hold you to that, but thank you. Right, I'm going to go to the toilet real quick, but I'm going to put on ATV, Aru, and we'll talk about some of the burndown from that. What is that like volume-wise? Let's wait for someone to talk.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Around.
What's that like volume-wise? Do I think we'll get our hangers in the persistent universe? Oh, that's a good question. I don't actually know. Probably not for a while because they need to build up the systems first. Thank you, Russell. I appreciate it. Where's a scarf? I do not know. Jay Lee stole it, mate. I'm planning to go to CitizenCon, yes. It's just a quick one, curveball.
Around the Verse, our weekly look at Star Citizen's ongoing development. I'm Sandy Gardner.
And I'm Jeremiah Lee.
Nice to have you here today.
On
today's episode, we investigate the new stamina system gameplay and learn how various actions will be affecting your avatar in-game.
But before we dive in, let's focus on the most important action happening around the offices, Alpha 3.0.
That means it's time to check in with Eric Chiron Davis and the rest of the team for this week's Burndown. Burndown.
Welcome back to Burndown, our weekly show dedicated to reviewing progress on issues blocking the release of Star Citizen Alpha 3.0. Last week, we ended at 94 total must-fix issues, which was prioritized as 9 blockers, 62 criticals, 21 highs, 2 moderates, and no trivials. So let's check in with the team to see how we're progressing.
So main things about 3.0 at the moment, as we're drilling down more on the PTU/Evocati must-fix issues, Todd and I and Paul as well. Got some more triaging that we're still doing. We're aiming to get through at least the criticals before we're definitely signed off on going, yeah, these are the must-fix issues. But in the meantime, I'm aiming to send out an email to the team about the must-fix issues we currently have. Those are the ones we want to start working on in order to push forward for Evocati, so focus on those.
The thing about game development is that with bug fixing and particularly drilling down on the must-fix issues that we now have, is that like most things in life, you can have good days and you can have bad days with stuff.
Right.
Developers can have a really good day where they just pull at a thread of a bug, you know, something they've been working on for a little while, and all of a sudden they kind of have that eureka moment, they pull on it, and then everything else just unravels and it allows them to fix the next few bugs.
So basically, last week, or the week before last week at Gamescom, they got billions of bugs. They discovered loads more bugs, didn't get as many fixed as they wanted to because they loaded them at Gamescom as well. And it looked like the chart basically was going backwards, and we had like 96 must-fix issues. I was like, oh my god. I think that's down quite significantly now. But sometimes they find an issue, find a bug, they fix it, and it unveils a load more bugs. A big stack of bugs. Conversely, they can fix a bug, and then it leads to fixes to loads more bugs. So the schedule every day goes up and down with the bugs needing fixing, but hopefully we'll start to see 20-25 bugs fixed a week. That's my expected prediction targets.
Stacked up behind that. On the flip side of things, you can potentially have a really bad day where a feature's got a little bit further. Developers have put some more fixes in, given its QA over to testing, and QA goes in, starts testing it, and they can go, well, that doesn't work. There's an issue here, there's one there, there's one there. Or you can get a particular issue, again, with a feature or anything really, in that you can come up against one issue and then extrapolate that out, and QA will just go down the rabbit hole, essentially, and go, right, well, if this doesn't work, well, how about...
I'm going to see, that's a great idea. Just like a little notebook, little post-it notebook in your maybe glass. I think it's a great idea.
If I do it like this, and what happens if I do this, and what happens there and there and there, and you can end up from that one just initial find, you can end up with another 6 or 7 bugs.
We noticed that there are these occasional...
I am totally into the non-combat roles in Star Citizen, and I do combat. I'll be a relatively good dogfighter, hopefully. I'll put the time and effort in. And I love the idea of boarding, capital ship battles, and massive fleet battles, but I'm very economy and industry driven.
Black flashes, as you can see one there, in Grand Barter. So, like, as we were going around, we kind of...
So with this bug, basically what happens is that the lighting source is causing issues where it's doing something with negative numbers, and they just need to change it's a fog lighting issue. Change the vector of the lights. It fixes the problem. Bam! That's the sort of bugs they have to deal with. This guy...
We have one of our NPCs
This guy stretches.
Who I just got some new animations from Dave over there, which should hopefully fix this stretching to talk issue.
See, that's a cray-cray issue.
Us from being able to.
So he's supposed to go towards a person, probably, and look at them and interact with them. So he was expanding his legs to do that.
Test it properly or use it properly.
For 3.0, we're reworking the turrets for all the ships. And not only the ships, but also, you might have seen it in the rover as well. So, with the turrets, we've added the ability to...
Leave it in! So they're also working very much so on improved turret gameplay. It's going to be great. People are going to absolutely love that. I'm very much looking forward to that. There was a bug...
Moons. It happened in...
Oh, there was a... Okay, this is actually quite a good bug.
To use the turret seat, or for the ship, we just want you to use the turret.
We got this Jira ticket for a bug that you were randomly dying within visiting our outposts on one of our moons. It happened in all of them, so we had to open up the editor, as you can see here, and find out what the issue was. And if you look here, you see that we have these blue boxes. I made them a bit higher than the outpost for this example, but this is the atmosphere this is the box that contains our room system, which contains atmosphere and actually air, so you can breathe within our locations. But as you can see, there's a gap between two of them, or between all of them. Well, it should look like this. Because when they're not touching, that means the air actually just goes nowhere.
So basically what's happening in these modular building sets where placing the internal building blocks there, but they weren't connecting them, so the air would just leak out. And in between these places in the doorways, there is none. There is no air at all.
Which makes it, like, disappear.
Suffocation matrix, yes.
So you would randomly die at different times because you wouldn't know when the air actually runs out. And that was the bug report we got, so we just found out
this is really important as well, though, because now that they can fix it, and they can cookie cutter so it's exactly the right shape, that's going to be updated for the whole modular building system. Like, that's great. That's a great thing that they found out now that they'll be have in mind and will be effectively fixed for all future buildings.
Like, okay, they're not connected. We need to fix this issue. Our first solution was actually just to make all the rooms bigger, to make sure they touched each other, as you can see in this example here. But we soon realized, straight away realized that that also means you can breathe outside. You can technically stand on this window, even though it's outside, you can still breathe and survive without a helmet, which also shouldn't happen because you're on one of the moons that doesn't have air you can breathe. So what we had to do was use the custom shape tool that Lumberyard provides, and actually...
The buildings should have been fixed in the first place. Well, you want them to come out fully fixed. So they just go, oh, it's done, they're done! No. It takes iterative process. I'll just expect everything to be immediately done.
Make these shapes fit so they go out an extra bit where the door comes, so the rooms still touch each other, but they don't reach outside, so you can actually not...
Yeah, so it's interesting for 3.0, I'm not sure where we're going to be able to refill our oxygen tanks, or if we have to buy oxygen tanks and stuff. I know all the suits are going to have the same kind of same oxygen tanks and the same amount of capacity in 3.0, but after that, we'll start to see a bit more of a variance. I'm interested to know if oxygen's going to be expensive. No, so when you log out, as long as you're not combat logging, I believe you'll log out with your ship, Greendra. in 3.0 anyway.
Stand on the outside, also being able to breathe.
At the time of filming this, we've reduced our total must-fix issues by 18, which brings us to 76 issues stopping this first release. At the same time, we've checked in a total of 773 new updates to the 3.0 branch. And now this week, we've also made some more important decisions on what we'd like our first round of non-CIG testers to help us evaluate, as well as provide feedback on and keep polishing and fixing. We're really going through this release with a fine-tooth comb, making sure all of the new tech and features work harmoniously together. So while we're all passionately working to knock out the mountain of blockers, as Matt said, uncovering one thread may unravel and reveal a whole myriad of issues that we always hope will knock out more than one big issue at a time. But putting my personal dreams aside, as we're completing and polishing features, those numbers are going to change, and sometimes dramatically, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. So come back next week to see how we're doing here on Burndown.
No, so I believe those outposts will generate oxygen when they're sealed properly. I think they do. I'm assuming they do.
For a more detailed look at what bugs we've been smashing, be sure to check out our 3.0 production schedule report, which we update every week on our website.
Now it's time to talk stamina. The dev team has worked hard to build a robust stamina system that takes numerous factors into consideration to provide a more realistic experience.
We might have better frame rates and performances in 3.0. We'll definitely have them by the end of 3.2.
Example, if you sprint into combat, you'll discover that your aim will suffer due to the deep breaths being drawn by the character.
Or worse.
Do people want to talk and watch the stamina and actor status system, or ASS for short? Or do they want to talk about just more questions in general? What do people want? Should be cheapo, but compressed oxygen in tanks might be... You're paying for, you know, the ease of access to that oxygen, maybe. I don't know. It's abundant, but you have to get up to the space stations and that sort of stuff. I really like the caterpillar. Soundgarden, thank you very much. Love your face. Thanks for subbing. Much appreciated. Can you imagine an org that gives O2 allotments depending on members' productivity? That would be Doctor Who-ish. Something said by a Frankfurt team recently. Oxygen will refill automatically in adequate atmosphere. Okay, that makes sense. No worries, Scott. People want to watch the stamina and actor status system, or do you want to just talk about questions and talk about some other news? We don't need to watch the actual ATV to talk about the actor status system stuff, I suppose. Stamina in-game. Stamina in-game is going to affect your aim and that sort of stuff. Basically, based on your actions, if you're running around, you're going to be draining stamina. And breathing gives you your stamina back, but you need a supply of oxygen to do that. Breathing in and out will adjust your aim. There's going to be various things that will cost stamina. Running, jumping, vaulting, all that sort of stuff. He never licked you. But there's also going to be various other things that the actor status system looks at. So it's not just stamina and breathing. And you can, like, if you don't have enough oxygen, eventually you'll start to suffocate and you will die. But it's going to look at debuffs and buffs, so bleeding, environmental effects, poisoning, that sort of jazz is all going to be potentially in there as well. People have talked about light survival mechanics as well, eating and drinking. If you don't eat and drink for a long time, you'll get a debuff. If you eat and drink, you might get a little buff. But it's pretty much that. And you've got G-forces as well, which are taken into consideration, effectively as debuffs, I suppose, where you'll now as well, your player will go do the hick test thing when he's doing the G's so that he doesn't, you know, pass out. But they still will pass out. What else have they done? They've calculated G-forces really well now, so that stuff inherits the parent objects, parent chips, speeds and stuff like that as well. So they're doing stuff with cargo, so that the cargo system has cargo that's not taped down or fly around all over the place. I'll give you a facelift curveball, no worries. I'll get you back. The schedule reports come out on Friday. The last one was on Friday, and it did come out. Yeah? 8th of September. I'm looking forward to the medical mechanics. Yes, there'll be different gravity planets. Some are higher gravity than Earth, some lower. Yeah, I like the idea that gravity is obviously going to affect the way you move and the way your stamina drains. Stamina mechanics are going to make Star Marine very different. You're going to have to make tactical decisions, strategic decisions. Your loadouts are going to affect the way you run and move. Running out of stamina entirely, I think, actually makes you pass out. But don't have enough stamina to do like a jump or whatever, or to run, then you're not going to be able to get away. You're not going to be able to do what you need to do. You'll generally move slower in heavy armor and stuff like that, and that's really important for Star Marine because at the moment it's run and gun. We don't want that. Run and gun, bad. I don't know if elevation will affect oxygen and stamina. That's a good point. I think environmental effects will affect it, and potentially at high elevation it will be cold. They could potentially just put a box in which is higher elevation, less air on breathable air planets and moons. So potentially that's there. Maybe. That's an interesting one. I don't know about the vision stabilization stuff. Looks a lot better in 3.0. The general movement, and aiming and everything. The cargo system's ready for 3.0. The hull series of ships is not yet. My shadow glitching the green screen, yeah, it is. It's because the time of the day is changing. I'm going to go in a minute anyway because I've got to cook for my family. Do you reckon we'll be able to fix suits on the fly for small damage? Yes. I do think there is going to be... Well, they're going to have suit punches, and I do think there will be suit repair kits, but it will take you time to repair them. So you might be running away from something, and you're like, oh shit, I need to stop for 30 seconds to fix my suit. Obviously, you need access to those suit repairs as well. The PP dance animation, I love it. I do not secretly have 3.0, unfortunately, no. I have access to the same things you do, except that I suppose I am in Evocati. So, obviously, I can't talk about Evocati content when it comes out. I can't talk about the thing, but I can probably say we have 3.0 at Evocati when we do. See what I mean? It'll be announced on Reddit and everywhere, probably. There'll be newsletter. Thank you very much, Captain Kim. Thank you for the host. I am going pretty soon, though. But Captain Kim is a great streamer as well. So is pretty much everyone that says to me, thank you. I appreciate... We've got a really fucking lovely community in Star Citizen, and I really appreciate my community as well a lot. Like, you guys have been super good to me. Thank you. I've actually given up caffeine. I say given up. I'm not drinking it on the daily basis. That said, I do have 1 cup of tea a day. But I used to have like 20. So I've like stopped doing that. I have 1 cup of tea in the morning now. And that's it. I'm interested to see how the flight mechanics have evolved in 3.0, any tweaks and stuff to that. I do think they need a little bit more work. Definitely planet and moon side, they need a bit of work. I want weight to the ships. A bit more weight. I want a ship when it flies over it gets punished for it. When it gets hit by something, it gets punished for it. I mean, that's what should be one of the things that makes ground combat quite dangerous to ships, is that if you get hit by a missile, that can just, it might not destroy your ship, because of your shields, but it might knock you in such a way that you just crash. yeah, I'm looking forward to the. They were talking about aliens and stuff at DragonCon as well. I think it was DragonCon. It might have been on the happy hour, and they said some aliens will need different atmospheres. You might need containment for them. That implies you'll be able to capture little alien creatures, maybe, and your alien ships might not necessarily have the same atmospheres that we can breathe. Something to consider. It's cool ideas for gameplay. Oh, I think salvaging and mining is very similar, and I think you probably get salvaging. You could like feel like a treasure hunter, whereas mining, prospector. It depends what you like more. I think a lot of people are going to go towards salvaging rather than mining, but mining's old faithful. I'm going to be doing both, but the Reclaimer is my favourite ship, so it'll be treasure hunting in the Nostromo. I am going to go in a second. Is there any other quick questions I can answer? The Hull C will be the best smuggling ship, I think. That said, I don't really know. I'm not sure how the smuggling mechanics are going to work. Shielding stuff. Do I think the multi-tool will be in 3.0? No, I don't think so. They would have said. We'll get it with repair whenever repair comes out. Hand welding repair. We're about to replace components pretty soon. There is a character editor, I believe, on the Moby-Glass in 3.0, so you can edit your character. So you can look a bit different. They speak with a more cheeky accent. What do you mean, Gov? What do you want from me? My accent is not fake. It's how I talk. Fuck you. I got a couple of mods. I'll get some more mods in. There was obviously a lot of people watching today, and those streams are getting a lot bigger. Once it gets like over 600-700, it's going to be unmanageable. And I suppose the mods can feed me questions as well. It's like I have a second screen over here just with questions that they vetted. Okay, yeah, I'll think of something. A couple of people have offered to be mods, so I'll probably take them up on that offer. Yes, I think the must fix are specific to the Evocati release. Specifically must fix issues before the Evocati can get 3.0. They might change it so that once they've got all the criticals and the major ones, they could release it potentially to the Evocati, but we'll have to wait and see. On that page, you can find all the latest data, 3.0 and beyond on there, the only stuff that we have access to. Right. I think that Disco might have been misspeaking. Like, okay, so with this, Disco basically said, as far as I was aware, he said that the dates of these here can potentially they can start anywhere within these like time slots to actually start them. But I do think this is just a rough schedule. I don't think this means that spawn models are going to start just anywhere between here. I think this is how long they think it's going to take, and this is when they plan to start it. I think just going to spec, but I don't know. That's me claiming that I think that we've got something a little bit cross-wired. There's going to be breaching in 3.0. I don't know if it's going to be we can blow doors up, or if it's going to be hacking doors, if it's going to be welding through doors. I don't know. Potentially, we might have the multi-tool for welding through doors, I suppose. 3.0. I'm not sure how that breaching is going to. Right. If you want to ask any more questions, you can drop it in the comments below, because I'm going to stop in a second. We've also got the Reddit. We've got my Reddit. We've got my Discord. You can go in there. You can ask questions. I'm going to be interactive with the community. Oh. Oh. That's no good for Port Olisar. Wow. Yeah, wow. I think you're a noob. Isn't Twitch autographs? What was I saying? I went off a tangent. Oh, yeah. So check out my Reddit. That's not my Reddit. Someone else's Reddit. Where's my Reddit? Here's my Reddit. Do you want that? Ask questions. Or go on the Discord and ask questions as well. You know, it's all good. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We're going to go host someone else because we love them. Or maybe we don't. I don't know who we're going to host yet. Twitch. Can host me, apparently. 3.0 is coming this year. I can say that with certainty. Boom. Yeah, a definitive answer. Maybe. Well, we should go and host Saurus. Give Saurus some love. Thanks very much, guys. I appreciate the love. I will go and host this man in a second. I am planning to stream more often. I might stream again later tonight some VR games. I'll get some news extra up because people were curious about Cloud Imperium Rights as a company that started, which looks to be a little company that CIG have started that looks after their patents and something like that. I don't really know what it fucking does. It's not really important. I was going to do some research into it. I'm assuming it looks after their game IPs and stuff like that, so that they can use that to license out stuff for engines and use it to fight legal battles if they wanted to and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm going to do some research. We get some news extra either later today or tomorrow. Maybe get some VR games later today. Serious Sam or Bridge Crew or something with the other guys that I play with, the idiots. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I fucking love you guys. You're the best. It's not night time. It's dinner time. And yeah, legends. Thank you. Love you guys. You're the best. Woo! 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 Thanks for watching my stream. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later. God. Peace out if you're not already.